Hi, Megan. Thanks for coming in today. How are you doing?
I'm doing well. How are you?
I'm doing well. Thank you so much for asking. So I know that you talked to your PCP about potentially quitting smoking. I just kind of wanted to have a discussion with you, just to kind of gauge where you're at with that, and kind of just kind of talk about how you're feeling. So, how did that conversation with your PCP make you feel?
Um, it just had me start thinking more about how I probably should stop smoking. I've been smoking for years and I know the health risks with it. And so I feel like it kind of got me thinking more about it by talking to my PCP.
hmm Um, do you see any pros and cons of changing or staying the same?
Um, Pros, it's like my lung health and just overall health. Um, Cons, like it's definitely a coping method for me when I get really stressed out. Um, so yeah, that's pretty much what yeah, pretty much that.
Okay. So I'm hearing that you are thinking about it as if you quit smoking, you are improving your overall health, but short term, it's kind of really beneficial for you as a stress reliever.
Mhm.
Do you do other things that are stress relieving that you find comfort in?
Um, like take naps kind of, but I feel like smoking is like my number one way of coping and it's not necessarily the way I want to cope with things. I realize that there's a lot of different ways to cope rather than
hmm
smoking cigarettes. So, yeah.
Okay. Um, do you feel like um, it would be really hard to quit smoking? Like, I know that other people report that it's really hard. Do you think that would be really difficult for you?
I think so. I think it wouldn't be hard to okay, I think it would be hard, but I do know that there's like the nicotine patches and the gum and stuff that you can use if you want to quit smoking cigarettes themselves. So I think it would be hard, but since there are other things to quit smoking with, it I really don't know. I've never tried to stop smoking. Um, but I could imagine it would be hard.
Okay. Does that it being hard, does that kind of intimidate you?
Yeah, it does.
Or like, how does that it does? Okay.
Mhm.
And how does that affect your willingness to quit, I guess?
It definitely affects it negatively. I mean, it's like an addiction, so I feel like I can't really break that cycle. I know it's possible to break the cycle, but I don't know if I'm fully I don't think I fully believe that I can right now.
hmm Okay. So I'm hearing a lot of positivity in um, believing that you could be able to quit smoking? Are there other aspects of the conversation with the doctor that you um, have been ambivalent about, or thinking about, or it's been on your mind?
The doctor pretty much just told me about the negative health risks that come with smoking. That definitely like scares me for sure. Um, but I don't know, I've been told about the health risks like my whole life, or since I've started smoking. It's definitely like a motivation to change because I'm young and I want to live a long life. Um, but yeah, I don't know. I think meeting with the doctor did kind of motivate me a little bit more. But I just don't know if I'm fully there yet.
Okay. So on a scale of 1 to 10, 10 being the most motivated to change, where would you say that you're at on the scale of
Mm,
wanting to change that behavior?
Probably about a 6.
Okay. Why not a 1 or a 2?
Not a 1 or a 2 because like, I don't want to deal with the health stuff that could potentially come from it. So knowing that it's not good for me definitely moves me up more towards a 10, just because it's just not something I should be doing. So that's pretty much where I'm at with, in terms of how I see that. But yeah.
Okay. So I'm hearing that you want to, you're at a 6 and you really want to kind of use, you want to have a longer life, you want to have better health. And so next session, hopefully we can talk more about that. I want to thank you so much for meeting with me today, and being open to having this conversation as well.
Thank
So
you.
thank you so much.
Okay. Now we
All right.
can.
I think you did really good. Some of the things that I really liked how before you even got into it that you really explained to her like what you were doing. So you weren't just going into like rhyming off questions to her. Because I think even though we're role playing, we forget to tell them why we're doing what we're doing. And even in professional settings, like even I'm a caseworker and even sometimes I forget to tell people why I'm asking them. I just assume that they know it. So I really liked how you're like, hey, you saw a PCP, they referred you, this is why I'm asking you this, and this is, I want to get to know why you're feeling this way, because that builds rapport with your client to let them know that you care about them. You asked a lot of open-ended questions, which I thought was great because it allowed her to actually speak and just for you to listen to what she was saying. Closed-ended questions, you did ask some, but they're good, but open-ended questions were much more effective when you asked them because it gave you more of the story and just let her talk about how she was feeling. You did a lot of great reflecting. You let the client talk. When she did say, I thought it would be hard to stop. I've never really tried, but you did reassure her and you said, yeah, it probably is going to be hard. There's a lot of people that have tried to stop and it is hard, but I think that we can get through this. That helps reassure and let her know that she's not alone. You allowed her to talk about her worries, and at the very end you reflected back to her, and one of the things that I really liked is you said, so what I'm hearing you say is, and I really think that that's a key phrase, is because that really lets them know that you're listening to what they're saying. And so when you said that key phrase and let them actually were able to repeat back to her what she just said, she knows you're listening and not just staring off into space and stuff, and that you're actually really listening to her. And so that really does come off as somebody who's caring, and legitimately wants to help. So I think you did really awesome.
Yeah, you did good.
Thank you. Thank you. I had a hard time coming up with questions to like ask on the fly, but it was a good first practice, I feel like.
Yeah.
Yeah. Good job.
All right.